Hey everyone. So I think there's moments within our life and we kind of connect more to what our clients experience when we go through these moments. So a real raw, honest sharing with you from my week. I had to go this week to have a DNC done with my OBGYN. That's where they basically, in layman's terms, they go in and scrape your uterus out and send you home. And so I had that done this week, and just for whatever reason, we don't need to get in that part. But leading up to the day, it has taken me back to so many phone calls I've taken over the years from families, young parents, men and women who call us from the hospital and say, we came in for an ultrasound and the baby's dead. And some of these situations, they give medication to the mom and they send her home and wait until she naturally will birth out the stillborn or fetal demise and, come back to the hospital or whatever the case may be. It's going to play out differently and, for a lot of different women. But some of them have this DNC procedure done, and they go in with the person asleep. They, place them asleep just for a few minutes. They go in and they just make sure that everything that was in there growing to form this baby has been removed from the uterus, because it can cause problems to the woman if anything is still attached. Just like after a live birth, you have to make sure the placenta has fully come out of the woman, or else you can cause infection and a lot of problems, and then the woman has to go back in the hospital, and all these problems ensue. So this week I just kept thinking about this and this process that these women have gone through, that I was going to be going through just the same procedure. Thankfully, not the process leading up to it. Thankfully, I hadn't lost a child, but thinking of these women having gone through that, and especially right now, my husband took me to go do this. You have to have a driver since you're being knocked out. And they recommended he stay in the car. I had to sit in the waiting room with this mask on the whole time. And then they call you back and you're talking to all these people, the nurses, the anesthesiologists, everybody. They were so kind, but they all have masks on. And then you sit in this little room waiting for your time. And then you get your IV hooked up and you have to, change into your gown and change into this and answer all these questions. And I just kept thinking, what if I had just had this loss of this child and I had to go in and sit here by myself without my spouse and sit here and wait for this procedure. And so I asked the nurse, I said, is this really all of these steps, the exact same thing these mothers who have just lost a child have to go through? And all I could see was her eyes behind the mask. And she said, yeah, it's the same exact thing. And all I could think was, what an insult to injury, and such a sad thing for mothers to go through when they lose a child and they then have to go in and have this procedure done to them. It's for their good, and I understand that, but it was just walking in someone's shoes for a day and for a moment in part of their shoes to know a little of what that experience might be like. And it's heartbreaking, and I'm sorry that anyone ever has to go through that, especially right now where you might not be able to have your support person with you and you have to sit there alone. It's very vulnerable, and I know that it was scary for me, so I can only imagine what it would be like for anyone else going through that. So I'm thinking of you. I just wanted to share that, just wanted to share those thoughts about my experience in doing that this week with all of you. So share your experiences, your thoughts with me, other things that maybe how could we walk in your shoes? What things have you gone through in losses and in moments that maybe we don't even think about as funeral professionals, that, we could have more empathy, sympathy, compassion for during the processes. So thank you all. Thinking of everyone, thinking of your moms going through these moments and these procedures and all these things. So take care, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.